Pointer, and I'm the self-appointed curator of the next Art of Peace Biennale 2015 to 2017. And I'd like to welcome you to this exhibition of the Art of Peace Biennale here at the Centre Space Visual Research Centre, Dundee Contemporary Arts. Welcome. In 1982, Joseph Beuys met the Dalai Lama in a hotel in Bonn, and Robert Filiu was one of the artists who was invited to witness this meeting. Following the meeting, he said to Beuys and to Luthern Byers, what if there was a biennale, a triennale or quadriennale where artists tried to make the world a world of peace and harmony? What would the exhibition look like? What would the publication look like? By extension, Filiu was asking, how would an exhibition of the art of peace differ from normal exhibitions? Filiu himself did not go on to create an exhibition called the Art of Peace Biennale. Instead, he went on Zen retreat to Chanteloup in the south of France, where he intended to be in retreat for 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. But unfortunately, he passed away during the retreat. Meanwhile, the curator René Bloch did organize a large group exhibition in Hamburg in 1985 called Towards an Art of Peace Biennale. When I met René Bloch and I asked him why the exhibition was called Towards an Art of Peace Biennale, he said that a biennale would need 2 editions before it could be described as such. I then said to René Bloch that I was going to appoint myself to be the curator of the next Art of Peace Biennale between 2015 and 2017, and he agreed that this could be a useful idea. At the same time, another event was Luthern Byers' symposium, Art Meets Science and Spirituality in a Changing Economy, in 1990 at the Stedelijk Museum in Amsterdam, which brought together many famous artists, prominent scientists, spiritual leaders and economists to discuss the question essentially of what is peace. So there have been 2 manifestations of the Art of Peace Biennale essentially. René Bloch's exhibition in 1985 in Hamburg and Luthern Byers' symposium in Amsterdam in 1990. After the internet and after the globalization, I'm asking the question, what should the Art of Peace Biennale be in 2015 to 2017? There are 6 artworks in the exhibition, more or less, and they reflect the research that went on during the period of 2015 to 2017, which was the period of the next Art of Peace Biennale. This piece here is called A Permanent Conversation About Peace, 2017 onwards. A very important date in the Art of Peace Biennale is the 17th of January, the date which Robert Filiu proclaimed to be l'anniversaire de l'art, or art's birthday. So the next Art of Peace Biennale lasted from the 17th of January 2015 to the 17th of January 2017. On each of these days, I made a different type of artwork, online artwork, offline artwork. And this was the one I created in 2017, which was intended to be a permanent conversation about peace. I wanted to experiment with using a 90s-style HTML-based internet chat window as a way of setting up a possibility for a permanent conversation about peace. This chat window has been running since 17th January 2015, and it's available for visitors to look at and to use throughout the exhibition. And as I'm also doing performances in the City Square in Dundee through the exhibition, I was very happy to see, for example, that someone I met on the square yesterday has now left me a message in the chat window here. So this will continue after the exhibition. And if you'd like to take part, you can go to the website peacebiennale.info/permanent. Ladies and gentlemen, here is our friend, the Buddha, a very important person or deity in the art of peace. Much of this exhibition and much of my research is around finding ways to communicate the concepts and practices of Robert Filiu. So you'll see in this exhibition, various artworks will remediate, or be remodelings of artworks he's already made. This example, however, the Internet Buddha, is a contemporary upgrading of Nam June Paik's famous TV Buddha. In the original, the Buddha contemplates his own reflection in a television monitor via a closed-circuit TV link. Here, in this case, the Buddha is contemplating his own image in an internet YouTube video. And as you can see, it is buffering like it is most of the time. I like to think that the Buddha is contemplating his existence through the signal noise mix of the YouTube buffering signal. He's waiting permanently in the eternal network for that enlightenment to occur. In this area of the exhibition, we can see the original poster of the 1985 Hamburg Biennale, curated by René Bloch, which provides us with a historical reference for the exhibition here that we're having in Dundee in 2018 as the second edition since. There are also archival material throughout the exhibition about the research and related concepts. But I'd like to talk here about the third work in the exhibition, which is called What is Peace? Answer Here. What is Peace? Answer Here is also the title of this research exhibition. Much of Robert Filiu's ideas about the eternal network are about being able to communicate across frontiers of mind and territory. So network art practice is a very important idea. For the period since 2015, I've been experimenting with online and offline forms of communication. And so I wanted, in this case, to ask the question, what is peace, through a range of different means. For me, this meant leaving the art space of the centre space of Dundee Contemporary Arts. Throughout the exhibition, every Friday, I've been going to Dundee City Square and I've been talking to people about this question, what is peace? And I have to say that so far, qualitatively, there's been far greater responses than online. So it raises the question about where the online space and the offline space begins and ends, and the best way to ask a question and receive a response. The fourth artwork in our exhibition is the inauthentic Earth flag. This is a ready-made, which we included in the exhibition for two reasons. First of all, to pay homage to John McConnell's idea in 1969 to create a flag for the planet Earth. There have been many different attempts at a flag that would represent the entirety of the planet Earth, rather than different nation states. And in particular, the impact of being able to see photographs of the Earth shot from space had a major impact in the counterculture of the late 1960s, as we thought for the first time about the planet as an interconnected environmental organism. To promote his idea, John McConnell presented the Earth flag, and it's possible to go online and to order an authentic Earth flag, the proceeds of which are then dedicated to environmental causes. So we wanted this in the exhibition for these two reasons, to represent the sense of the worldwide counterculture and also to reflect important environmental concerns. We regret to say, as curators of the exhibition, however, that we made a customary error with our online shopping and ended up buying an inauthentic Earth flag from a provider in Taiwan, and the flag arrived in a plastic bag some 12 hours after we had bought it from our home in Glasgow. So we regret very much only to be able to present an inauthentic Earth flag, but are committed to making a contribution of money to the same effect to environmental causes, with our deep apologies. And here we have the official logo of the next Art of Peace Biennale 2015 to 2017. Just as John McConnell devised the Earth flag as a way to represent the interconnectedness of the planet, and just as Robert Filiu designed a stamp which intersected his desire for an art of peace with his Artists in Space programme, and that logo appears on the poster of the 1985 Hamburg Biennale, which we see in the other room. So I needed to bring together these two ideas into creating a visual identity for the next Art of Peace Biennale 2015 to 17. So I created this logo, which features on the website, in postcards, on badges, on every aspect of wherever the Art of Peace Biennale 2015 to 17 is manifested. And here in the exhibition, we have created a vinyl print of the logo, which at 193 centimeters squared is the identical height to the curator. This seemed to be an important dimension at the time in our thinking. There is also a vitrine of archival material which includes the very important official Art of Peace Biennale stamp, as well as other stamps related to the project, such as the stamp of the School of Human Activity, the General Consul of the Nomad Territories, and the Chatterton Union of Psychogeographers. So within this vitrine, there is evidence of my projects as a curator, as an artist, from 1996 to 2018, which contextualizes the place of this Biennale in my own broader practice. And so we conclude our tour of the exhibition of the Art of Peace Biennale here where we began, in a piece which I'm calling Research at the Centre Space. This work is a homage to Robert Fillew's research at the Stedelijk in 1971, where in an empty gallery, only with a sign indicating that we were in the territory of the Genial Republic, he would hold open-ended conversations engaging in co-research with visitors to the exhibition. Robert Fillew famously said that research is the domain of those who do not know, and he was very eager to work with other people on different types of research projects. So here in the exhibition, we recreate the spirit and the environment of research at the Stedelijk by doing this here at Research at the Centre Space. We declare this part of the territory of the Genial Republic, and also behind us we have the Art of Peace briefcase. The Art of Peace briefcase is an essential element of any manifestation of the Art of Peace Biennale. Many of the items here are usually carried around in the Art of Peace briefcase, but there are still some secrets within the briefcase which will only be revealed at the end of the exhibition here on Saturday, June the 2nd, in a closing event. So, welcome to the Art of Peace Biennale and the next Art of Peace Biennale after this one to come.